Stella Stevens. You're beautiful. You know that?
Thank you.
Stella Stevens, tell me, Mississippi, born?
Born in Mississippi.
Really?
That's right. Yes. I always
But
loved the state, too.
It is a good city. It really is. The state is a good state. But tell me about Memphis, Tennessee. That's where you really grew up.
Well, I grew up there because my parents moved there when I was about 4 years old. And I went through all my school years until I quit high school, got married,
You quit
and
high
had
school?
a baby. Yes. And then Andrew was born, and after he was born, I went back to finish school at night, at night school, and then I went on to Memphis State University, where I got my first big break as an actress.
You did a play. It was, what was it
Bus
called?
Stop.
Bus Stop.
Yes.
Marilyn Monroe.
That's right. Sherry in Bus Stop.
That's all.
And I had done several other plays in Memphis, but that was the one that got me really noticed because a man named Edwin Howard wrote about me in the newspaper and gave me a great review and maybe gave me the courage to come on out to California and try. I was a fashion model at that time.
You were?
Yes, I was modeling Junior Sophisticates and Mr. Mort clothes at Goldsmith's department store, Memphis' largest department store. Was my first job. And of course I had the baby at that time.
Andrew?
And Andrew, yes. And I made $38.86 a week, and I used to have to take Andrew to the nursery while I went to work. There was a nursery in the department store itself. And I lived through that. And then my next job was at 20th Century Fox, where I was making $250 a week, and I thought I was really rich.
They put you under contract?
Yes.
Stock?
I was going to be the girl to play Jean Harlow. I was brought out to play Jean Harlow, and I never played her. Although I met William Powell and other people that had known her very well, and I remember William Powell said to me, "Oh, God, Stella, don't do it. I loved her, and they made too much of it, and she was a wonderful girl, and nothing like they said, and don't play her." And he never wanted me to. That's not why I didn't play her. They actually didn't make the movie that they had the script of at that time. Which Jerry Adler had, and it was written by Adler Rogers St. John. Years later, they did 2 movies on the life of Jean Harlow.
Baker.
Carol Baker and Carol Lindley did
but
one.
Baker, wasn't Baker great doing it?
Yes, yes.
Lindley was good, but Baker was sensational, and I loved her.
It was a very nice film, but it was certainly, it perpetrated the myth that William Powell said was not true at all, and he didn't want seen because he thought she was a great girl.
Little Abner, come on, Stella Stevens.
A Passion Out of On Climax, please.
Little Abner, darling. Come on.
My first starring role.
It was your first starring role?
Yes, definitely, and I went to Paramount. From that, when they showed the film of Little Abner, I was put under contract and was there for 5 years. They picked me up from that picture.
I see.
A Passion Out of On Climax, the mistress to the richest man in the world, General Bull Moose.
You've always played sexy roles.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, you're right. Always been sexy. And, but then, what happened?
I haven't always played sexy roles. I have played nuns, and I have played mother superiors, where sex may have been there, but it was covered with a habit.
There was sex in there.
You kinky boy, you. Put on a nun's habit, and you get all turned on. That was fun, but it was not overtly sexy, let's put it that way.
Flamingo Road.
Flamingo Road, I played NBC's first madam.
Yeah.
That's true.
How did you get that? How did you get that role?
Well, I graduated from hooker to madam. You know, where else can you go?
You're right.
I played a lot of hookers, and one of the most fun was in a movie called Mom, where I played this outrageous red-haired hooker named Beverly Hills. And she was fun. Her real name was Beverly Schnabel, but she.
Do you enjoy doing those roles, Stella?
I am basically a comedian. I always have been, and so. The sex has always been comedy sex, or a lot of the serious dramatic roles I've played, I think to myself, oh God, it's just kind of dreary, and I like the pacing of comedy, and I like the excitement of it, and I love action, I love physical comedy.
I see.
And I was not able to do very much physical comedy on Santa Barbara. I did that for a year.
You did that.
Yes, I did a year of that, playing Robin Matson's character, Gina's mother, who was called Phyllis Blake. And I tell you, people wrote to us saying that we reminded them of Lucy and Ethel. That was the highest compliment I could hope for. But it would not allow us very much physical comedy. It was mostly close-up comedy, where just the lines have to prevail.
Marilyn Monroe. comedy too. Sexy girl, blonde,
Sexy comedy, yes. I
Stella
remember-
Stevens. When I think of Stella, I think of Marilyn Monroe too.
I probably saw her first.
She was a
in-
comedian, really.
Oh, very much so. Yes,
Yeah.
one of my favorite films of hers is The 7-Year Itch.
The best.
The Tom
Me
Ewell.
too.
See, I adore that film.
Yeah.
And of course, Some Like It Hot.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
One of my very favorite directors, of course.
Wilder.
Yeah, did
Wilder.
that. Billy Wilder did
Is
that.
he
film.
one of your favorite directors?
Absolutely. I mean, Sunset Boulevard is one of my very, very favorite films of all time. I would love to play Norma Desmond, you see, if they ever make
Did
a
redo it
remake of
again?
that. Oh,
Would you?
God. What a wonderful role.
You like that has-been movie star, hidden
I
away?
would love to do that,
That-
yes.
yeah.
It intrigues me. Her
Joe Fury
character
has
does.
Joe Fury and Lee Grant has a script.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
called I'm Waiting. It's about an
Uh-huh.
old actress hidden away. It's just like Sunset Boulevard, you know?
Well,
It's- you should
I
try
see
to
there would be hope for me in later years to play things
Right,
like that without
right.
a lot of makeup, see. If I'm gonna,
Would you
if
like
I'm
to
gonna
take
stay an
chances?
actress.
You like to take. You're an actress, Shelley. You like to take chances.
I just went and read for a part of someone in her 60s, and I think a lady who actually was in her 60s got the role. She was eyeing me, gave me the fisheye when I came in, like, what are you doing here? And I thought, well, there are makeup men, and I can play the hell out of the role. Let's see if they can make me look the role, you know. I didn't get it, but I went out for it anyway, and I enjoyed actually auditioning for the role because I knew I could handle it and do the part well, but I was not physically yet right for it. So I like it when they write exciting roles for older people.
You were so busy growing up with your child, working.
I was
with
much older
Andrew.
when I was young than I
Yeah,
am
but
now,
tell
I
me,
feel,
But how
you know.
did Andrew get into acting?
Andrew got into acting after going back to Memphis and going to school there.
He did.
And joining the drama group and
You didn't force him
winning
at all?
possibly 30 or 40 trophies for his school in acting. They had what was called duet acting. He and his girlfriend went to Nashville and won the state championship.
Did they really?
So
Nice.
he came by it honestly, I guess. I was the black sheep of the family, and everybody was really ashamed of me when I left to go and try out here with the evils of Hollywood, because no one in my family had ever done that.
Evils of
Oh,
Hollywood?
of course. And actually, I was in Playboy magazine. I was the January 1960 Playmate of the month. And the preacher in the First Baptist Church in Memphis, Tennessee, preached a sermon against me, setting me up as a young lady who was typical of all young women led astray by the evils of Hollywood.
Really?
And so I was just
How
symbolic
do you
of
feel about that, Stella, when they put terrible things in a print about Stella Stevens? How does Stella handle that?
I don't handle it as well as I should. It kind of makes me angry, but I try not to show it. Because quite recently, there is a man who has sworn a vendetta against me for some unknown reason. And he has a column, and I appeared, I was wearing a pantsuit very much like I'm wearing now, only it was white, and it was quite elegant. In fact, I always get a lot of compliments when I wear it. And so in this column, he wrote that my hair was dirty and I looked tacky like I was about to take out the garbage. And I thought, well, people don't put on white clothing to take out the garbage, and this man really is doing what he threatened to do. And so maybe I will make the 10 worst dressed women list.
Oh,
and
I
if
know.
I do
Is this the
that,
man?
oh,
Mr.
yeah,
B.
then maybe that'll be worth some good publicity, huh? Yeah.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he did.
You don't
So,
care
but,
about that as long as they spell your name
I do
right.
take out the garbage,
does-
but usually I'm not dressed in my best
Does-
outfits when I do it, and I don't go out with dirty hair.
So, Andrew, let's talk about Andrew. Andrew got back into Hollywood. How did he get to Hollywood after Memphis?
He came back and started going to school at USC,
Right.
making films. And so Andrew has graduated now into actor, writer, director. He
like his
is,
mother. Same as his mother?
well, he's writing and directing his own films. I'm quite proud of him.
You are
He's-
proud of him?
Yes, of course. And hopefully when he directs things, he'll put me in them, you know.
Are you very close with Andrew? Because that's your only son. Is that...
We have
is-
had our
is
ups and
Stella-
downs, but
is-
we're actually quite close now. We have a good time together. I think what did it best to turn the tide of any animosity between mother and son was when I put him in the first film I directed. First feature film I directed was called The Ranch, and Andrew starred in it. And he said to me, "Gee, you're so patient." I said, "You don't remember yourself as a child, obviously, Andrew, or you would know where I got this patience, because Andrew taught me patience, I think." But actually, a great thrill was working with him as a director and being directed by him. And I found him quite patient on the set with the actors and quite good. I think people who are actors are better with other actors. They're more sympathetic. With
yes.
the quirks and strange eccentricities we have about why we can't walk somewhere and say a line. I understand that.
What made you turn to be a director also? Stella?
It's the only logical way to go up from starring in things and having the leading part.
Sexy movies and sexy roles all the time,
No, you're wrong
Stella.
about that.
Okay,
they were
go
not
ahead,
all
Stella.
the time. No,
No?
as I said to you, I played nuns.
I know
played
you
Mother
have, I know,
Superiors.
but there's a
I
lot.
played very sexy roles in very few movies, and they have been later in life.
I see.
In my early life, I kind of rejected that, not wanting to get typecast. And one
Okay.
of the first things I did that was directed by Robert Altman, the only thing I've ever done directed by Robert Altman, but a really good piece of work, was a Bonanza with Michael Landon, in which I played a deaf mute like Johnny Belinda. And that was really good acting that I had to do, and not sexy at all, although
see.
I was raped by Albert Salmi. But I went out of my way to try to get roles that were not based on sex.
You really did.
And right
I
now,
see.
I don't care anymore, because when people just go crazy and look at me and think I'm some sex symbol now, I find that, you know, very flattering and quite nice. And I don't have anything to prove in that area anymore.
Not anymore. You don't
no.
have to. Yes,
So if
absolutely.
I do it, like one of my fans wrote and said the thing I did in Mom was one of the sexiest, funniest things he'd ever seen me do. Now, it was not a very successful picture, but certainly it was one of the most outrageous hookers I've ever played.
Right.
So I have fun with the roles I do. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy directing people because the director can get fingers into every
Control.
every
Yes, yes,
pie.
yes.
I can go pick at people and make them look good. I can get into the makeup and the hair and the props and the everything, you know.
So
and I've
Stella
worked
likes
with,
to work on the other side of that camera and sees.
very
and
much
sees-
so.
You do.
Yes, I would much rather eventually get into that all the way.
Yes.
Actually, after working with people like Bob Hope and some of the others who have been around and are still working in their 80s, I hope I'm still acting then too. But I really would prefer to be a director more than
but-
an
yes.
actor at that time. And I'm working on a couple of properties now. One is a sex comedy. The other is a thriller about a serial killer. So they are very separate and different kind of
You just got
things.
back from filming what? Where
A
was
Dangerous Curves.
Dangerous Curves in
Yes.
Dallas.
In Dallas.
In Dallas.
Yes, we shot in North Dallas in a mansion there. That was just incredible.
What's the movie about, actually?
Mine is called In the Name of Love.
Mm-hmm.
And I play a character named Muffy Fuller, and I get killed by a former lover in it, so I am murdered in it. So Muffy Fuller, as the name
Right.
sort of implies, is a social butterfly,
right.
very wealthy there in Texas.
I
and,
I heard someone say Sharon Stone said something about you. She's yes. Did you see Basic Instincts?
I did, of
I
course.
And in one of her interviews said that she loved Stella Stevens. She got her ideas from Stella
well,
Stevens.
God, isn't that...
Now,
I'm
Sharon
pleased to hear
Stone
that
got her ideas.
Because, yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. I loved what she did in that movie. And
In
I
Basic Instinct?
I said, I wish I could have done that, you know, because
Would you really like to do
she
that?
did the type of things that I always wished I could do, but I never got a role like that. No one ever offered me that role, because I was not playing sexy roles at that time. But I think in Slaughter, that was probably one of the sexiest roles I played, but it was not a very popular picture for me, and I don't think they have played it very much on television because there was a very explicit love scene in it
Right.
between me and Jim Brown.
Right.
And so...
Because he's black, you think? maybe?
at that time, yes. At that time,
Because-
yes.
yes.
And at that time, it caused a furor in the South, and I was
Were you
very,
nude?
I was
Completely
very
nude?
hated.
Were you very nude? Nudity? A lot of nudity?
Yes, but it was so dark I couldn't see very much of anything. The lighting was very
Of course.
diffused and dark. And I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see more, because I had done more.
Right.
And I was very disappointed in the impact of it. But what happened was two things from that. They filmed it, And then they screened it only for the guys in the back room
Right,
over
right.
and over, and
Oh,
they
I
kept
see,
little
I
clips
see.
of it. They also
I see.
cut out 35mm frames and sold them to Playboy magazine.
Kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. So
Isn't that
that's
against
what
the
happened
law?
from that. Oh, probably so, but who cares?
Oh.
They did it anyway.
Stella, do you think audiences today like sex movies? They're very much into Basic Instincts and all these sex movies today. And violence. They love violence and sex. You've been in films a long time now. Come on.
Sexual violence as well.
Yes, sexual
Of
violence.
course. Well, what
What
I have
makes
always...
it so attractive? Is it because all of us inside ourselves would like that experience, do you think?
I'm sure, yes, of course. I mean, being as big a sex symbol as I was
Right.
after doing the Playboy magazine spreads, 3 or 4 of those.
Have you had any
over the
dangerous
years.
calls in your lifetime? Because-
Only in the very early years.
You did.
I think after people realized I was such a good shot with a shotgun and stuff like that, they began
really?
to leave me alone. I'm an excellent marksman. I like shooting. In fact, I'm going back to the celebrity shoot this year. I'm very good with a gun. And I also love to fight.
You
I am
do, I
really
see.
a fighter.
You brought a
and
clip.
you know what I love
Yeah,
to
go ahead,
fight? I
go
love
ahead.
to fight other women. It's one of the most exciting things for me. You know, Sharon
Why do you-
Stone.
yeah.
Sharon Stone had a wonderful fight with another woman, and I
Right.
loved that fight.
saw it. It was
So I
great.
brought a clip for you.
Yes.
If Sharon likes me, she's going to love this
Okay,
clip.
I want to see this
Okay,
clip. What is this clip? Is this you
this
put
clip is a
together?
compilation. Now, you know I want to be a director,
You're
so
an excellent director.
I have put together a compilation of things that I did from certain films
Right.
to just show. And this was a lot of action and fighting that I did with other women.
I love to see it.
Okay, great. Let's
okay,
run it.
Stella, other women.
Of your holier-than-thou attitude. No common thread exists. Derman was a total stranger to me before today, so you can kiss your theory goodbye, Lady Celeste. I'd rather you kissed my husband goodbye, you adulterous wretch! Slimy pig shit!
Ladies, come on, ladies.
Lousy bitch, you run out of me for a stinking nigger. You want it, don't you? You want that black bastard, huh? You want it, don't you?
Yes, I want him!
You rotten bitch.
They didn't teach you to fight fair.
great, fine. It's just, Rip Torn is one of the best actors around. This is the guy who really beats you up there, kick you.
That's right. See, if I fight women, I win. If I fight Rip Torn, he wins.
He's such a great actor.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Why all these violence? People love violence movies, don't they, Stella?
Well, it's action.
Is it action?
Yes, of course.
I say
And,
violence, but you say action.
Yes, well,
I know it's only a
gone
movie,
a little
like
over
you
the
said.
top
Yeah.
lately with, you know, but what you saw there were no Uzis. We didn't mow people down and things
Right,
like that. No,
right.
I like the one-on-one confrontation. I like that.
Kids
on
love
film.
it. Kids who go
Yeah,
to the
kids
theater
love it.
really love that, don't they? They get excited, especially when they see two women fighting.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. I've always loved it. You know, in Destry, Rides Again. Remember,
Right.
there's a wonderful
Of course.
fight. Yeah, of
Great.
course.
Shall-
And my heroine always was Marlena. So
Marlena?
I adored
She's
her.
great.
So you know, watching her fight there, I always admired her, and I love to fight women. I like to fight them better than men.
So Stella Stevens really looks up to Dietrich, Marilyn, all these great beauties who really are real women. These
well,
people are
Rosalind
real
Russell,
women.
Claudette
Yeah, these are women.
Colbert,
You're looking at
Myrna
women.
Loy.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah. You consider yourself a real woman.
I consider myself a tomboy. And
tomboy?
I always have been all my life.
Okay.
And I've grown into what I believe is a real woman, but a lot of times I've felt like I acted like a female impersonator.
Really?
Because there is such an image of pretense and of sort of plastic, unreal quality, which people do expect, and so therefore I give it to them, and they like it. Like these nails, for instance.
Right.
I broke a nail so bad I had to repair it before coming on this show, but this is from The Dangerous Curves from Muffy
Right, your
Fuller.
movie, yeah.
So now it's a holdover from that. But I went riding on my horses on Sunday and putting bridle on. I lost
That's
one
right.
of
You
these
moved
things.
up in Washington State, and you came back.
Yes,
You
I
were up-
lived there 12 years.
12
and,
up?
yeah, and now I'm back. Same old
You had a
house.
ranch up there?
I had a ranch, 101 acres, totally surrounded by national forest.
Oh, that's
Beautiful
great,
place,
Stella.
yes.
What did you do all the time when you were
I
up
just
there?
played and had fun.
Did you?
Had a good time.
Do you have a man in your life right now?
I do. I have had a man in my life for the past 8.5 years. Isn't that amazing?
great,
He's lasted longer than anyone in my life, and
Why, you're tough to be with? You're saying the last of any...
well,
Is
I would
Stella-
say every relationship lasted about 1.5 years, and after that, it sort of petered out. You know, it was,
Why is that, Stella?
Um,
Busy?
it would just be that people grow and they grow apart, and it would be that instead of growing together and staying together and working at it, as Bob and I have, we've grown apart.
What does Stella Stevens wants in a man? What is you looking for? What are you looking for in a
I
man?
was looking for, back in the days I was looking for a man, I was looking for someone with a sense of humor and someone that I could talk with and exchange ideas with. And Bob is a musician. He is in heavy rock and roll, heavy metal rock and roll, which doesn't seem the type of person that you would have an intellectual conversation with, but after the heat of passion wore out, we found out that we did have still a lot to talk about and a lot to have fun about, and he has become my best friend. And so
That's important.
That is the
Sense
most
of humor
important
and
thing.
best friend.
Yes, he
I
has
like
a
those two
great
things.
sense of humor, and no matter how angry I get and if I blow my top, I have probably a worse temper than he does.
Does he let you have it?
But he has been able in his life to be with the most impossible stars and back them up as a lead guitarist, so that he has seen quite a few star fits in his day, you know, and so mine don't impress him any more than some others. I mean, at least I don't lie on the floor and kick and cry and do stuff like that. He has even seen that, you know. So I believe his experience has helped him in how to deal with me. But also, I find out that, or I feel that a man is with a woman kind of the way he has been or is with his mother. And Bob is excellent with his mother. And he and his mother have a very good relationship. And that's a clue to how good a man is going to be with a woman,
So
how he is with his mother.
So
Now,
Stella's-
don't ask me about Andrew.
Don't ask you. But Stella is spiritual then. You're very spiritual, I see it.
I didn't know it showed.
Yeah. you
I
just-
suppose
you
it, yes,
yeah.
I am a spiritual person in that I still have a great deal of morality. I feel like as a director I would be Frank Capra or something. You understand?
Yes.
I love idealism. I love romantic idealism better than anything. I love excellence.
Looking over your life, Stella Stevens, looking back, had a good time in your life, would you say?
All in all, I've had an excellent adventure in my life, and
Because you
I've
came
had
to Hollywood the days it really was here. I mean, come on, Stella.
a lot of it
Glamour.
is still here. A lot
You
of it
think
is
there's
still
glamour
here.
still here? They dress in jeans, they go out, they don't look like movie stars, Stella.
Well, we have been browbeaten into not looking like movie stars
Why?
out in
Why?
public.
Tell me why.
Because people thought that was pretentious, and people thought that was too standoffish. And if someone puts one on a pedestal, that's fine, but don't put yourself up there.
Okay,
You
okay,
understand
yes,
that?
okay.
Yeah, I think that's the reason.
So you've had a good
behind it.
time?
I was told first never to go out without makeup and my hair done, and never
Right.
to, you know, now, and I lived in Washington and went out without makeup and without my hair done. My hair was not dirty, but it still was not done.
Did you hear that, Mr. Blackwell? Go ahead.
So I've had a wonderful time, but I've had rough years. I've had years of time when I did not work a lot, and I have had
So you've had some
one
rough,
of the
rough
hardest
times.
struggles of anyone I've known to try to go from acting to directing because of starting out a sex pot, a sex symbol.
Right.
This has been a detriment in trying to have people take me seriously as a director. But I find that those clouds are going away now, and that all the impact other women directors, wonderful directors like Barbara Streisand and Jodie Foster and Lee Grant, and
These are great directors.
yes, they're very great
wonderful.
directors, wonderful women, and this is opening the
How
doors.
did you feel? How did Stella Stevens felt when they didn't even recognize Streisand at the awards this year? It just upset me a little. She did such a great job. As a woman director, as yourself.
It upsets me. It upsets me that she was not mentioned very much for Yentl either. But
Yentl,
what does a woman have to do?
Tell me, what do they have to do, Stella?
I don't know, but I
I know
do
the
that-
casting couch's still out there and all that crap. It's been he's always been out here. But I just don't think, women should, they're getting their part though. Aren't you, don't think so?
I would hope so. I do hope to direct these films that I'm working on. I hope they're not just pipe dreams that will be dreams that will not
You want
be
to direct
fulfilled.
serious films, don't you?
Well, every
said
film
Frank
I do
Capra.
is
You said-
serious, but it's a comedy. you
Oh, okay,
know?
okay.
No, I'm a serious artist, but I love to do comedy.
A book in your life, Stella, coming out with?
Yes.